Oda does not know how to write Big Mom. At this point, it is beyond obvious. Now, before I get into that, I'd just like to say up front, in case you're new to this channel or you're new to me overall, Big Mom is one of my favorite four emperors outside of Shanks. Oh, and I guess Whitebeard. Oh, and Luffy now. Let's try this again. Big Mom is my favorite female character outside of Yamato, Nami, Robin. Oh, and I'm a huge fan of Sugar. Of Hancock, I guess. Alright, whatever, scratch that. Big Mom is in my top 25 favorite characters in the entirety of One Piece. And of course, One Piece has over 1,000 characters, so that is a big deal. Despite all of that, Oda very clearly does not know what to do with the character. And it's frustrating to me, but for other people that are not on the creative side of the world like I am also a creator. You guys might be more frustrated than I am with how Oda has handled Big Mom throughout the story of One Piece. He keeps just fumbling the bag every time Big Mom has a moment to display some great degree of competency at any point in the story. Like, the best I've seen Big Mom look was for a brief stretch in the rooftop battle in Onigashima, where she used, I believe the attack was Indra. And emphasis on brief stretch, because Luffy, I think, kind of muscled through that in a way afterwards. And then after that, probably my favorite Big Mom moment in the entire series, during the fight with Kid and Law, where she used the misery attack. That and the shot of how she looked there, that is another stretch, another set of pages where she looked great. But those are moments that are few and far. If you stack those moments up against moments that I think that she was just written badly, it would be overwhelming. I think that whenever Big Mom is on stage with another popular figure, Oda seems to have, I don't even know what word to use, but he just seems to subconsciously want to let other characters slight Big Mom for whatever reason. And this is somewhat of a trend with a lot of Shonen mangaka. A lot of them, they're not good with writing female characters. Now, Oda, compared to most, is not terrible at writing female characters, but not being terrible doesn't necessarily mean you are great at writing female characters. He is good, Oda is good at writing females when it doesn't involve any epic action sequences. When it doesn't involve that, he does a fairly good job. From the Big Three era, I would say he's clearly better than Kishimoto. Oda, compared to Kishimoto when it comes to writing female characters, I don't want to say Kishimoto would be trash tier, but he would definitely not be anywhere close to the tier that Oda would be at overall when it comes to writing female characters overall. But I'm not sure I'd put Oda over Kubo from Bleach. I'm not sure I'd do that. But anyway, in Whole Cake Island, one of the reasons why, those of us who are reading Whole Cake Island, one of the reasons why it will never be one of our favorite arcs was due to the handling of Big Mom. I don't even want to revisit what happened towards the climax of Whole Cake Island there. That whole arc, Katakuri ended up upstaging her, right? And Katakuri is nowhere near as strong as Big Mom. So that's a huge example. And then Wano came. We have Frankie running over her with the motorbike thing, driving over her face. That's another instant. And Of course, we have her looking desperate, borderline goofy in a sense, scared even when Law used the silent room thing on her, and she's supposed to possess advanced conquerors or other techniques that she could use in that instant, and then in the flashback, no, I was holding out hope. I honestly was holding out hope that when we see younger Big Mom, prime Big Mom. No, I've done my research. I don't believe that the Big Mom that we see on Roxy's crew, the Big Mom that's there on God Valley right now, I don't think that that is prime peak Big Mom. I think that her prime years came shortly after leaving Rox. Shortly after leaving Rox, her first few years of establishing herself as an emperor, I think that is when she was at her peak, at her absolute strongest. That is when she is at Yonko level, in my opinion. I don't think that the Big Mom on God Valley is Yonko level. I think that she is probably at Admiral tier. She's around Admiral level, I think, which is roughly the same level that I'd probably say Whitebeard is at. I think that based on how Oda is handling some of these characters, I think that the Yonko level people would be Garp, Rox, and Roger, I think, are the Yonko level characters on God Valley. That being said, Big Mom may not be Yonko level on God Valley. Kaido 100% ain't even close to Yonko level. And look at what happened. I'm getting really tired of these scenes that involve Big Mom throughout the entire story. They have stacked up way too much right now at various points in her life. Like when she's old and you have the hunger pangs excuse from Whole Cake Island, okay, partially understood. Early on when she had the memory loss thing in Wano, okay, but then I don't know what's going through his head when he's writing these scenes with Big Mom. Let's get this straight. Now, as a writer, I can understand wanting to, subvert expectations, wanting to come up with twists. So something could be stated in the story, and then when you actually reveal to the audience the full details behind that story, it turns out that it's somewhat different from what was said. The instant here, I don't think that this was necessary. When Big Mom said that Kaido owes her a debt, and she gave Kaido the fruit, if the translation that I read was correct, the implication was that after Rox was defeated, Rox was beaten, Kaido was dying, and Big Mom gave him the fruit to save his life. That was the implication back then. Even if Oda didn't want to go that route, I don't think that there was anything wrong with just having Big Mom give the fruit to Kaido as we initially thought. There was no need to switch it up at all. There was absolutely no need for it. Maybe you could have written it in another manner where, I don't know, let's just say that Big Mom had something else that she wanted, that she was going to give Kaido, and then out of nowhere Kaido surprised her and took the fruit instead of the other thing. Okay, that is slightly better than what we got, but still better than what we got. With Kaido just showing up, slamming her in the face, eating the fruit, and then seemingly instantly taking off in dragon form, and Big Mom didn't even retaliate or do anything. And as I said, I've lost all hope and all faith in Oda when it comes to writing Big Mom. I think that Big Mom may come back in the series, but whether she does or does not return, I have zero expectations on Oda doing her justice at all. I also have zero expectations of ever actually seeing peak prime Big Mom in her mid-30s thereabout doing anything relevant. I have zero expectations on that. And this brings me back to what I said earlier, that I am a creator. I am capable of writing my own series. As a matter of fact, literally I took a break from animating a novel that I wrote several years ago, and it's gonna be re-released, edited and re-released soon. I'm working on an animated version to that. I took a break from that to record this video, and one of the things that I'm learning One Piece is in my top 10 best series of all time. I won't say where exactly, but it's high up on my list. There's a lot of things that Oda has done in One Piece and with characters, not just Big Mom, but with several other characters that I personally feel clearly could have been done a lot better. And that is something that I am actually implementing in my own series with my own characters. That's one of the good things about being a writer, being a creator, being an artist myself. And I am also someone that loves writing stories driven by female characters. So basically, a lot of the stuff that Oda is weak at, I think objectively I am stronger than he is. I guess you can say it's kind of a low bar claiming that I am better at writing female characters than a shonen mangaka, but still, it is Oda. It is one of the greatest mangaka of all time, right? So, yeah. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Big Mom is written perfectly as is? Or do you agree with what I've said and that Oda has done her dirty way too long in this series? But anyway, that is it. Yeah, peace.